Yo, yo,
Yo,
back again for another episode of Island Boys Football Talk. C Money, K Jizzle, Sheedy will join us shortly.
yes, I.
But it's another off season, another slow season, another Sunday without no football,
Another quiet
another quiet
again.
football week. I guess the free agency hasn't heated up as yet, the free agency pool with some of these free agent players and team releasing and team resigns and stuff like that. That hasn't heated up as yet, but it's gonna come. And when it comes, one thing about the NFL, the free agent time is always the hottest time of the off season. So, and again, football is king. So normally, football always dominate around this time, whether it's in the draft or the free agency. So football normally dominates.
So ain't nothing. I don't think I hear anything pop up this week that was nothing interesting happening.
Big news. No big news happened this week. Nothing big really. It's just been quiet so far. I think eventually, a little something with Aaron Rodgers and the nonsense or whatever that we had last week. But I think there's also something with what you call it. There's also something with what's his name, with Tom Brady. I seen a lot of things with Tom Brady happen going to San Francisco.
I ain't believing nothing till I see some more concrete
I
evidence.
seen I starting to see and hear a lot of that.
I hear that talk too, but
If Tom Brady does happen to come back, he might be going to San Francisco.
again, you got them two quarterbacks from California. Is what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, out there, but I think it's people trying to wish it, and I ain't paying no
Right.
attention. I ain't paying no attention to it yet. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna get hype and then get broke hot. So I ain't paying attention to it yet. But yes, there's a lot of rumors going about Tom Brady not really being retired. He might do a stint with the 49ers.
Yeah, 1 year stint. That wouldn't hurt.
Then you got the rumors, not the rumors, but you know what coming out of Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
I think Green Bay got a lot of decisions to make because I think the last report I see is that they had clear up some cap space, but only 3 point something million worth of cap space. So I know that's not enough to sign Devontae Adams. I mean, we still gotta remember that Aaron Rodgers still under contract.
Right, exactly.
So I mean they I don't know. Things too quiet for me. Still too quiet. Nothing ain't popping off. And March 16th is 2 weeks away, right? So
Hmm.
we gotta see what happens. I think I mean a lot of shuffling. Like I said before, a lot of these teams don't have the cap space. So we gotta see. So I know
I think
last show we had give ourselves teams. We had give ourselves teams to go through and analyze and play GM with. I forget who you had, Casey.
I think we did Arizona, Baltimore, and
Buffalo.
Buffalo. It was
Yeah,
Arizona, Baltimore, and Buffalo, right? Yeah.
yeah. I had I
That were
have
the three teams that we did.
I have I got Buffalo.
Right.
I can't remember who you had.
I had the Ravens.
You had the Ravens. Okay.
Right.
So Streeter had Arizona.
Yeah, she did. No, you had Arizona. She had Buffalo, I think.
Awesome. I had Buffalo.
Yo, yo.
Yeah, she did.
No, it was Arizona, Atlanta, in
Oh yeah,
Baltimore.
Arizona, Atlanta, and Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Baltimore,
Arizona,
Baltimore.
Atlanta, and Baltimore. Yeah.
Baltimore.
This show we got Buffalo,
Right.
Cincinnati, and Chicago.
Right. You can bet that. The big bad
Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
No, yeah, you had Cincinnati.
She ain't got Buffalo. I got Chicago, Chirac, and Jizzle got um the AFC
The Bengals,
champions.
the AFC champs.
So we were just talking about rumors for the past week. I still, still kind of quiet on the forefront.
Still
Nothing
quiet.
on. A lot of rumors still going on, but nothing really,
Nothing pop out.
nothing
Yeah.
put your head down, you know.
We got one or two. I saw the Patriots may not
Maybe
franchise
not JC
tag
Jackson.
JC Jackson.
Yeah.
I saw one
I
or
think
two more stuff. I saw the Panthers re-signed someone, which was a head scratching move. We signed our tight end Ian Thomas. Considering what he's done over the first 3 years, 3 years, 16 million. That's kind of overvalued in my opinion. But they said essentially it's a 2 year deal. So I know with McAdoo, he'll use his tight ends. Joe Brady never used to use his tight ends, but still a questionable move considering how much tight ends he had on the market. But they said he did have a market, so they didn't want him to leave free, get to free agency. So we'll see how it pays out. There's still more important um, players to think, Hassan Reddick and those guys. So let's see what we can do with them. But like Sheehan said, there's not much moves out there right now that
Right.
you're hearing about. I think you got this full week and then next week.
yeah.
And then that's when franchise tag deadline, I think, is the 8th of
A match.
March.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when it's
So
gonna
we're gonna
be.
get a lot. And
Hmm.
that's when we're gonna get the big news and the hot takes and stuff like that coming in. Probably
Yep,
sometime next week.
we got to see what's gonna happen there. But we all got some players that we gotta talk about. I mean, not players, some teams that we gotta talk about this week.
So
We had some good discussions last week with some
Yeah.
players. Now this week we gotta get back into it. I mean, anyone can start. We could keep it in the alphabetical order. If it keeps there, Shane will have to go with Buffalo first.
go first.
Yeah, we could go through.
All right. So looking at Buffalo, another team that ain't got no cap space. 5.06 million in cap. That ain't nothing. But I mean, Buffalo's a team that really, I don't think really need to add no big additions. I think they're right there. I think that's a team built for success in the AFC. Just got content. They got some contenders to deal with, but I'll see what kind of value Buffalo could put up.
Hmm.
Coming out on the free agency market, they could free up a little. I mean, they got free agents that I don't think anybody really is a need to sign back. Everybody is older, the upper 20s, closer to 30s. I mean, you got names like Mario Addison, he 34. I would
Yeah,
let him I would let
he's
him
gone.
go.
He's
See
gone.
old he gone.
Emmanuel Sanders, he's 34. I would let him go and then maybe draft a wide receiver to accommodate Stephon Diggs. Mitchell Trubisky, okay. Um, who else? Taiwan Jones, running back, he 33. They got Isaiah McKenzie, the wide receiver. I had like he in the season, maybe signing back for a small deal, maybe.
Hmm.
Matt Breida, he 26, uh, maybe to give the backfield a spunks, maybe I don't know. But I think they need to sign a big running back. They need to get a big running game going on there. And then other than that, they ain't got no big names. Other than that I would see. I would almost say I could let go this whole free agency class and not even worry about it and go and send me some go and have me an outstanding draft and pick me up piece players,
Right.
and save that cap and not make a big move and kill myself with my 5.6. I ain't really nobody. I think they could bargain with to try and get out of that cap or even add on to get more money. So, but
Yeah,
Buffalo's
no,
I think Buffalo's set. I think they're set. They're on a championship run. They got a team to prove it. They got a quarterback. They got a wide receivers. The defense ain't bad. They had injuries last year, which probably killed them more than anything. Um, maybe grab you a nice running back. See if there's any studs coming out of the draft. If not, see if you get steal you a veteran running back that can produce. Arizona got all their running backs on free agency and they can't sign back all of them. So I don't know. Maybe you get
that's
a
true.
I don't know.
That is true.
but there's not a lot of pieces that I think that Buffalo need to reach to go get to put themselves in any financial issues to go there. They already know they probably gonna win the East for the next couple of years. I don't think they got any competition in the East like that to compete with the Buffalo Bills if if things play how he's been playing in the last two seasons. Josh Allen.
Yeah, when we look at Buffalo, they're playing to win. Win it all, basically. The cap is tied up. The they always trade away the picks to get things. But I think, like you said, they drafted last year for those replacements like Mario Addison. They drafted Gregory
Mhm.
Rousseau, the defensive end from Miami, and AJ Epinesa. So
Mhm.
it's like they got those portions there. I think the main thing, like you said, they're gonna have to find someone to go along with Stephon Diggs,
Right.
because based on the stuff that I read, they said they want to cut Beasley because he carries like a 6 million cap hit. So if they can't get the cap down for him, they're gonna cut him to clear cap. So
I think that's an okay move because you could cut Beasley and probably pick up another slot like
like
something
I
like
say, right, you need to get at least, well, they got the guy, what his name is, that unleash on Kansas City, Davis.
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 They got Davis, that's a good
Yeah.
receiver coming up. They got
Gabriel
Dawson
Davis. Yeah.
Knox. Yeah, you got
Dawson Knox.
Gabriel Davis, you got
Dawson
Dawson
Knox is
Knox.
a good tight end.
So you get another little competent receiver there, and that looks good. But it comes down to like what you guys say. They need if you can put fear in your defense, always from the running back position.
Yeah, get a complimentary running back. A running
Yeah,
back.
there was one
Mm.
crazy draft idea that someone had spring out, and they said, "Why not try to get McCaffrey out there on that team?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
now
would
that
be scary.
you don't have Josh Allen got to always got to do it by
Right.
himself.
Exactly. That would be scary.
That would
Exactly, but
be, you would open up that aspect for
That
more
would be scary.
Josh
That would be a whole lot more because McCaffrey is an all-purpose back.
Allen. Right.
right.
You know what I mean?
See, in my opinion too, if they don't want to go for McCaffrey got a cap, I would go for like a Chase Edmonds out there.
That
Right.
too.
Cause he can run hard, but he also goes up in the
And catch
backfield and
right,
catch.
catch the ball out the backfield.
Right. So I think this is the time for them to get someone more competent in the backfield to take the load off of Josh Allen just a bit. I know they said on the defensive side, the front ain't bad because they drafted those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think they say they are going to look at in free agency or the draft. They need to pair someone with Tre'Davious White
Yep.
and the cornerback position. But now happen now is Tre'Davious White towards ACL, so we don't know when he's gonna come back. No, your back end just took a hit. I think they got Micah Hyde and John Poyer as the safeties, which is good.
That's good. They're set there.
Right. But your cornerbacks are not as good. You got a pro cornerback coming back from
For Davis White, yeah.
yeah, coming back from the
Yeah.
ACL. So you gotta be able to have some competent cornerbacks. I think, but like she said, they're not rocking with tons load of cap space. I think
Agreed.
they can think Shane they got anybody that they could move around money on.
I don't see.
I think Josh Allen still on his rookie contract, right?
Yeah, Josh Allen. I think
No
he said,
man, no sir.
yeah.
Josh Allen signed an extension already.
He's
I
on
mean,
extension already?
I'm saying
Yeah,
all I'm saying all
yeah.
that.
Josh Allen got extension.
Josh Allen, he unless he was not a top round pick then,
No, he was a first round pick.
but he should still be on his 4 year contract. He ain't 4 years in the league,
What
man.
they usually do sign him to extension, but leave that
Yeah.
contract play
Fifth
out.
year. Yeah, lead a 5th year option playout and stuff like that. It's
Um,
into a contract extension.
I
let
don't
me see.
I ain't
Yeah,
see
Josh Allen. Um, 2021, he signed a 6 year contract extension worth 258 million.
Yeah. So he ain't gonna,
Yeah,
probably ain't gonna kick in now. Probably gonna kick in after
right,
that 5th year
right. It
option.
is kicking
Yeah.
after the thing, right? So I know he signed something. So that was so like you got that there, and I mean you could eat not eat you can shuffle there, but who's the others that can really shuffle?
I don't know.
That's the thing about it. I don't know the persons there that can
But
really shuffle.
again, like I was saying, I don't see you build good, you drafted good. I don't see the reason why you have to go there and shuffle it unless you unless you see something that you really want to get, like a McCaffrey or maybe another running back, But Yeah, like Chase Edmonds is a free agent, gonna be a free agent. James Conner gonna be
Mhm.
a free agent. So it's like you wait and see if you can pull them out of free agency, or you go there and try to restructure somebody's contract if you're going after, like you say, like a McCaffrey.
Probably try to restructure Stefan Diggs or something
Probably.
like that. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they still got to restructure something,
Right.
at least to
You got to
pick up
structure.
some,
Yeah, exactly.
because you still need depth pieces.
Yeah, yeah,
You still
draft.
need, right. They got their core. It's just that they need to pick up some depth pieces to like help the team out in case of like injuries. For instance, what happened with Baltimore? Baltimore got derailed by injuries on the defensive side.
Yeah,
The depth probably was good in some areas, but wasn't good in every
Right.
area. So they got exposed for it. So I'm sure they don't want to go through that. I'm sure they would like to get Mitchell Trubisky back as the thing, but they need to get another competent receiver to go along with. I mean, Gabriel Davis, he exploded. He and Diggs. You got Dawson Knox. I believe you get another receiver and a proper cornerback that can go a long way. I mean, not cornerback, another running back.
yeah,
And then on the defense, if you fix the what you call it, if you fix the cornerback, the secondary,
The secondary was kind of
yeah,
little
you never know.
trashy. You could have seen the divisional run when they played the Chiefs.
yeah.
The
Exactly.
safeties in the kind of back position was horrible.
You fix them, you
So
never know what can really happen. So the team has again, they're playing to win it all. What? This is 2 years now back to back that they had
yeah,
to face the Chiefs and
yeah.
lost.
This year has so this year coming has to be the year.
Exactly. They're playing to win it all. They know
They
Right.
that
hope, they
they
hope,
can win
they
the
got,
division.
they hope you ain't got a new guy in the block.
Yeah,
Well,
that too.
that's true
But
too.
at the same time, we also forget that Josh Allen doesn't have Brian Dable in his headset.
That
You know what I
is
mean?
true, but I mean
That's another big laugh
they
too.
didn't go out and hire out. So I think the system wasn't
The
changed
system
that much.
probably
I
is still the
think
same, right?
it's the quarterback's coach that's the offensive coordinator. No, Ken
Right.
Darcy. He came from Carolina with McDermott, so he's been there since McDermott was there. So I think he's gonna keep more of the Dable philosophy and just tweak his own little thing.
Right.
But like KG would always say, if you got that man as QB, you can't go wrong.
I agree. I
You
agree.
can't. You
I
really can't
agree.
go wrong
I
if you
agree.
got that man. He is that man. So like we said, we can always look and say, well, then do this and do that. But we saw what they did in that game against with the game against Kansas City. Josh
Okay.
Allen and
And Gabriel Davis,
those guys took
right?
over.
He took over the game. It's the
They couldn't stop him.
defense. It's the defense that let on the offense.
Exactly. We just couldn't stop him. So that was just once you got that man, you're in a position to do good things.
Yep.
He still got his number one wide receiver. He still got his Dawson Knox. He still got Gabriel Davis that button the top over.
Hmm.
Uh, It's not as bad as people may think. But like Shane said, you need to clear up some cap to get some depth pieces and fix what you need to fix.
Agreed.
But I still think, I'm high on them to make playoffs
Yeah,
next
right
year.
now
And
they're king. They're the king of the AFC East right now.
yeah, you got to see what Mike McDaniel gonna do with Tua. I'm not so high that they're
I
gonna
don't
do
expect
something
much
right
from them.
now. Mac Jones, you
Right,
never count out Belichick, but we saw what happened in the playoffs. It was a
right.
different thing. And then the Jets is the Jets.
Just
I don't know
exactly.
how much.
They might
I
make a
really.
they might make a
I believe they could do something
They
too.
make a
I
little
I, I
nice,
don't know
but
what I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
much nice will they make?
yeah. I mean, but that would have started right. You'd start off making a little nice,
They
eh?
make a little nice, but comes down when it comes on the crunch time, how much nice will they make? You know what I mean?
And
that's that's
they got some
definitely
good
true.
pieces. Some they just need to
Right.
fit it together. So we
The
And
see.
good
Jets is a
squad.
team. Yeah, the Jets is a team to keep an eye on, keep doing stuff, and we don't know when we get to them when we break them down. I'm sure they still got cap space. They did some good stuff on draft. They got two top 10 picks in the draft,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not like they don't have ammunition to get well.
We start off like that. We started off what 3 seasons with top picks, man. And I mean, we
They
come
got
out a bit
good. They got
and
good. They got. Some people would say a decent quarterback. They got
yeah,
some good skill
where we see.
position players, some good wide receivers, decent tight end,
I
maybe a
think
okay offensive line. All they gotta do is build that defense a little bit, and maybe get some good coaching on offense.
Yeah, I think so because thing is
Get
just a
somebody,
busy.
get somebody to work with what his name? Zach Wilson is his name.
Yeah,
Get somebody to work with Zach Wilson. Get somebody to work with that offense and work with that quarterback. And
because
see what he
Salah is strictly defense, eh, so
Yeah,
he
he's
needs
strictly defense. So exactly. So get somebody, get a veteran who can actually work with that
Hmm.
team, who can actually work with Zach Wilson. You know what I mean?
I agree.
where we get to them.
So yeah.
I agree. But the Bills,
The best
I
bet,
think,
the best bet. They just need minor tweaks, and I think they'll be alright.
yeah, I think a lot of also actually like to be in
In the
the
Bills
Bills'
position. That yeah.
position.
Yeah,
So kudos to them. They still got bright future. They got great coach, Brick Dermott. They got great general manager, Brandon Bean, and the
great
team. They got
quarterback.
the franchise quarterback.
Yep.
But you got BDJ, Big Dick Josh.
They're like, that's a flat that thing out there. You know, nothing.
Right. So the Bills is good. Next, we on to the Chicago Bears. So what can we say about the Bears? They got rid of Matt
Man,
Nagy.
nigga.
He he was
I'm
one
sure a
day
lot of Bears fans
inconsistent.
praying for that.
I think they were happy with that. And
Yeah.
Ryan Pace is gone, and
That's a
Nagy is
GM, right?
gone.
Mhm.
Yeah, Ryan Pace was the GM. I mean, it all started with the biggest questionable move of the decade, probably with going after Trubisky when
True.
you had Deshaun Watson and
Patrick
Mahomes and all
Mahomes.
those guys
Hmm.
there. And then they made some playoff. They made a couple seasons, made some playoffs with a good defense, but they were never able to make it work on offense. They were never able to make it work on offense. I think, and Matt Nagy coming from Andy Reid, you would think that it would have worked on offense, but
Offense, exactly.
it never worked. And then this year, bringing in Justin Fields, which I think has a very bright future in the NFL, it just, I mean, it Matt Nagy just couldn't do enough to keep his job,
Right.
and I think it was just time for a change. They got rid of GM the and head coach, and I think the new GM is who Eberfluss, the
Even plus there. Yeah.
former defensive coordinator of the Colts. He brought in some persons with him, and I think this should be just a fresh start for the Bears and Justin Fields. I think they'll be very happy with that. I I think it's gonna be really good for them. Eberfluss is well respected. He's gonna make sure that his defense is well and help Justin Fields grow. Um,
But also, who did they bring in as offensive coordinator to help Justin Fields?
that's the thing. Let me
It was Caldwell
check.
or was it somebody else?
It was it. No, I think it's someone from Green Bay. I think it's one of those guys from
It was Green Bay, right?
yes, Luke Getze, new Bears
Yeah.
coordinator. Luke Getze. He was I think he was the quarterbacks coach for the Packers.
Rodgers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
So that's a decent
he's
pickup.
37, possesses 15 seasons of coaching experience, including 7 years in the NFL. With the Packers, he spent the last 3 seasons as a Packers quarterback coach.
Right. So he had good
So,
pedigree.
I mean, anyone that was able to walk with Aaron Rodgers, you got to be taking in something from
Right.
it.
Exactly. You gotta have something.
You got to get something from it. So, I think that's a good move. Hopefully, he knows how to balance it out for Justin Fields and keep it going. Um, I think on the defensive side, they should be fine with Eberfluss. He's actually a really good coach. I liked him in Indianapolis. So I mean, it's not bad that they have that. Looking at their situation with the cap and everything, hmm, their salary cap, they have some big cap hits. Starting with Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack carries a 30 million cap hit, 14% of the cap. If they
But he ain't going nowhere.
He's not going nowhere. They're gonna
Right.
probably restructure that guy. If we release him, it's 24 million, so he's
Right.
not going anywhere. You have Robert Quinn, 17 million cap hit, 12 million dead cap, so probably restructure as
Restricted
well.
that too as well.
Eddie Jackson, the All Pro safety, carries a 15 million cap hit, 18 million dead cap, so probably some restructuring there. Quarter White here, 12 million cap hit, 12 million dead cap, so they can, it's not like they could release him. Eddie Goldman carries 11 million cap hit, 5 million dead cap. There may be a place to
Right.
free up some cap space. And you see, most of the persons, the Bears have a very old team. The team is a lot more veterans. They're not as young as other players. So Goldman is an older kid. You got Nick Ford that carries a 10 million cap hit, 7 million dead cap.
Mm-hmm.
That still need to be sorted out. Roquan Smith isn't going nowhere. Tariq Cohen, 5 million cap hit, 3 million dead cap. Danny Trevathan, 5 million cap hit, 8 million dead cap. Andy Dalton, 5 million cap hit. I think then all the rest, Mario Edwards is a 4 million cap hit, Kyrie Santos, 3 million. So it's lower. When we look at the free agents, you have Allen Robinson is a free agent. I'm pretty sure he's gone because Chicago.
He
We know that
gone.
for a fact. Akeem Hicks, he's 32. He was a big part of the defense for a long time, but
That's a
he's
big
getting up
tackle,
there in
though. Yeah.
age. Yeah, he may not be there. Dalton is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Graham, the Titan, he's 35. I don't think they're going to resign him
Shouldn't
again.
bring him back.
Mm-mm. Jermaine Ifedi, the right tackle, is left to be questioned if they're going to bring him back or not. Tashawn Gibson, the free safety, he's 32 years old. They may not decide to bring him back. Jason Peters, he's old. Pat O'Donnell, the punter, he's old. James Daniel is unrestricted free guard. Looking at it here, you got Marquise Goodwin. These are the guys. These are older, up in age guys. So they. The one thing I haven't seen is what is their salary cap. It isn't showing their salary cap. Why is it not showing me their salary cap? I want to see their cap, so then I can see everything. But looking at them is let me see now. Cap space 26 million. So KG, looking at it, like I said, when you had with the cap space is 26 million, and you
Right.
got Khalil Mack with a 30 million cap hitting those guys. I'm sure you can restructure those. The thing about it is teams that don't have extensions or big quarterback contracts, they get away with it. Only thing is Khalil Mack's contract is like a quarterback contract.
Got that contract exactly.
So he's still there that carries
Right.
that kind of weight. I mean, they got Justin Fields for 5 years without paying him anything that's gonna worth
So
anything.
you could say, hold on to that.
Exactly.
He's a game changer.
Right.
Right.
So you, you there is ways to boost that cap and make it go higher with some restructures of those guys. Or looking at the Bears starts with protecting Justin Fields and getting him some weapons because the offensive line was a big disappointment for Justin Fields last year. I know we watched a few of the games and
Yeah, he was under the wrist a
the
lot.
line wasn't good at all. When he had time, he threw the ball very well.
Right.
It just wasn't good. Um, I like David Montgomery in the back. They have the rookie running back that took over for Montgomery, Khalil Hubbard. He filled in pretty nicely. They still got Terry Cohen, the speed demon, but I think that outside of no, Allen Robinson is gone, and he didn't have a good year, but he's gone. He doesn't want to come back.
Right.
I don't know who they are. You got Darnell Mooney. That's it.
Daniel Mooney. I think
So they're gonna,
they had Jakeem Grant, but I know Jakeem Grant come
but
back.
he's a free agent now,
He's a free agent right there. Right
right?
there.
So they're gonna have to find some playmakers for
Right.
Justin Fields. And I mean, Titanic, the sign Cole, they drafted Cole Komet, the Titan from Notre Dame,
Right.
but they're gonna have to find some playmakers and build that line for Justin Fields. That they're gonna have a high draft pick. They probably can either trade back up. They see someone they like, go for him. On the defensive side, they're getting up there in age, to be honest. Hakeem Hicks, Goldman, Khalil Mack, those guys are all
Mhm.
30 and over. You have to start to get younger. Eddie Goldman, he's good, but he's up there in age. Roquan Smith is probably the only younger one, and he's probably about 27, 28. So they have to start to get younger on the defensive side. I mean, your head coach in Hire was a defensive guy, so he knows defense.
Right. Exactly. So he gonna build that. He
But
gonna build
he's
that.
gonna, yeah, he have to start to incorporate some youth into the defense, and then build. But like we always say, they found their quarterback, which is Justin Fields, and I truly believe that he can be a really good quarterback in the NFL. I was vexed when Carolina passed up on him. But if you give him the right protection and give him some playmakers, it should be good. We were just talking about the quarterbacks coach from the Packers, who's now the offensive coordinator. Let's see how we scheme up things to make Justin Field more comfortable in the pocket. Or I have to move him around. They have a good running back committee. Let's get some skill position players. Let's see what happens. It's not a bad team. And then the thing about it, look how crazy it is. If Aaron Rodgers does leave the Packers, the NFC now is wide open.
Wide open.
I hope it.
Wide open.
Wide open. The Lions
Wide
ain't
open.
threatening nobody. The Vikings, you go as far as Kirk Cousins, and then Green Bay without Aaron Rodgers. What are you getting?
Cook, guaranteed to be back with the Vikings either.
But I read something that said he dictated the head coaching hire.
He asked for the head coach and
He asked for Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I did see
Yeah,
that.
he
I did
did
see that.
actually ask for
He
Kevin
asked for the
O'Connell.
head
So
coach.
I don't think he's going nowhere this year.
All right, so the Vikings will be the last in that division again.
Then that would probably be.
Who
Well,
knows?
you can't count out you can't count out Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson
Yeah,
and Thielen and those guys.
I could count them out when Kirk Cousins missing just Justin Jefferson down the field wide open straight in a row. Ask KJ,
Yeah.
didn't get him that game, missing
Yeah,
his
yeah.
kid.
But you just did that one good year.
Yeah.
That
But
one good year.
you know the thing is when we get to Minnesota, if you look at his stats wasn't bad, you know.
Wasn't
His
bad,
stats
yeah.
wasn't bad.
It shouldn't
35
be.
touchdowns,
It shouldn't be.
and
Now
12
you got
interceptions, something like that.
Justin Jefferson, Thielen, Dalvin Cook. Come
Right.
on.
I agree. But when we get to them, we'll talk about them.
Have good stats.
We'll talk about them in depth when we get to them. But that, like you said, that team is good.
Right.
With
Exactly.
the Bears have a veteran defense. It's just the offense was the biggest issue this past season.
You know what I gonna do? You know what I gonna do?
If you-
I gotta start a Madden franchise with the Vikings.
If they can somehow fix the Bears offense,
Offense.
the team is actually going to
Team
be
will be
ready to
solid.
roll.
Team will be
Yeah,
solid.
it's not a bad team. The team.
I think the biggest hit the Bears offense gonna take is Allen Robinson losing Allen Robinson.
Say that again.
Yeah, but
Allen Robinson, the biggest hit they're gonna take
Uh-huh.
is
losing
losing
him
Allen.
too. But then again, Matt Nagy did put Allen Robinson in a position to be successful. You know what I mean? You didn't get the full
True.
Allen Robinson that you got out at Jacksonville, that you signed Jacksonville. So it's like
True.
we don't know what to expect fully from the Chicago Bears. Because
Right.
Matt Nagy, like he didn't get the full potential out of the players. He got a little bit out of Trubisky. Like he got a little bit out of that team that 1 year, and that was because of the defense. But that was about it.
And then but he never really protected the quarterback.
Exactly.
Allen Robinson can be. We know how Allen Robinson can be.
Right.
But if your quarterback don't have any time, you can't get a ball to him.
Right.
So
I mean, you
we ain't see the full potential of the Bears. Then that's what we're saying.
right.
Exactly.
Because their offensive line was a major issue this past season. You see, they had to go and sign 40-year-old Jason Peters to help throw up the line.
Mhm.
You can't really depend on a 40-year-old at this time. Well, Peters is good, just like Whitworth, but he couldn't hide everything. The line was pretty tragic this past season. It was one of the worst lines in the NFL, and you can't do that for a rookie quarterback. So, and Matt Nagy didn't really call a good scheme for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
He actually did it. So, like I say, we were just telling KG, the new offensive coordinator is Lou Getzi, the former quarterbacks coach for Aaron Rodgers. Now, he been around Aaron Rodgers for 3 years. He was with the Packers for 7. I'm sure he's going to come in there with some stuff to help Justin Fields more comfortable. You can do so. Justin Fields is an athlete.
Right.
He has a cannon for arm and he can move. Get him rolling out a few times, get him some misdirections, some little quick screens, and then play action. Make sure you get some, but you gotta protect him. If you don't protect him, it's not gonna work. So I know they drafted someone. I can't remember his name. They drafted someone last year, and they think to be their kind of stone. But I know that their line was not very equipped. So let's keep continuing that they can build a line. Let's see what can happen. But I'm not. The Bears have to me, in my opinion, they have a bright future in terms of Justin Fields. You got Justin Fields. If you can build him the right way, you have a very good team. The defense is still pretty good. I mean, getting up there in age, but they're gonna have to start to make some tough cuts to show
Right.
up some cap space and help. I mean, you still got difference maker Khalil Mack. You still got Eddie Gorman that's pretty good. Eddie Jackson is a all pro safety. I think I can't remember some of their corners, but Roquan Smith, Pro Bowler. So let's see how they attack this off season. But from my head coaching and GM standpoint, we have to protect Justin Fields and give him some weapons. That's the first thing I'm looking at. Protect your investment and give him some weapons. So just leave it as that, and hopefully they listen to us. That you got to protect your investment, and then you'll start to reap the reward.
What pick? What pick they got?
They probably, I think they're ninth, 10th.
Okay, so they could get a decent lineman.
Yeah,
No?
they still could get someone really good. That's the thing about it. They can still be good.
Right.
So let's hope they do that and get through it and see what happens. All right, Jizzle, we're gonna head on for you to
The
the
the AFC North and the AFC Championship team, the Cincinnati Bengals,
you could bet that.
played a good game in Super Bowl. Could have
Very good.
easily won it if it wasn't for a few decisions made by the head coach. But that's neither here nor there. But it was a I would say it was a lot of us wasn't expecting the Cincinnati Bengals to actually win a division. Really, I think a lot of us thought that probably it would have been maybe the Baltimore Ravens are maybe a little resurgent from the Pittsburgh Steelers with it being Ben Roethlisberger's last year. But evidently they were able to draft Jamar Chase, who was also I think he was an All Pro and also a Pro Bowler
Mm-hmm.
in his first year as a receiver. Is an elite talent as well. Um, they were able to sign a few free agents that made big impact as well in Chidobe Awuzie, who was the fourth highest rated graded cornerback,
Woozy.
a
Hmm.
cornerback last year, and also Trey Hendrickson, who's also a good defensive lineman as well. That help him out to reach the Super Bowl. I think after Awuzie went down a little bit, I think that defense kind of took a little strain as well when he went down in the Super Bowl. But that's neither here nor there. A lot of us know that the reason the main chokehold on the Cincinnati Bengals was that offensive line.
Yeah.
That was the biggest chokehold they had. I mean, I think they had a couple draft picks on the offensive line with, I think they drafted, what his name is, Common Jackson with Clemson. Then after they also drafted another offensive tackle in Deontay Smith out of East Carolina. But even though they still were the 20th ranked offensive line in NFL, that wasn't capable of. I mean, even though they made it to the Super Bowl and made it to the championship game, won the division, made it to the Super Bowl. I mean, at some point you knew that offensive line wasn't going to help you win a championship. I mean, they were 20th ranked if you look at it. The only team that made it to the playoffs in the 20 position as an offensive line was the Oakland Raiders. So it was the only Cincinnati Bengals or Oakland Raiders that made it to the playoffs with
Yep.
a 20 and below rank offensive line. You understand? So they were bottom at the bottom. But the only good thing about the Cincinnati Bengals is that they had a Joe Burrow. They had an elite quarterback, and that's what made the difference with that team. They had an elite quarterback. They had a good head coach. They had elite skill position players. You had a Jamar Chase. You had a T. Higgins. You had a good
Tyler
slot
Boyd.
receiver in what his name is Tyler Boyd.
Tyler
You
Boyd.
had a decent tight end in Uzuma, and you
Mm-hmm.
had a good running back in Joe Mixon, and you had decent complementary players on the defense side as well. You know what I mean? So with that being said, they had good. You gotta give credit to Zach Taylor as well because he was able to coach that team and get them to the championship game. Because I mean, get them to Super Bowl. Because even if you look at that game against the Titans, a lot of us wasn't expecting the Cincinnati to win that game after getting sacked what 10 to 12 times.
Yep.
And that was all. That was probably all in the first half, late in the third quarter. You wasn't expecting Cincinnati to actually win that game. But again, like we all say, you had the quarterback, you had the man. He doesn't get rattled. You had Joe Burrow, and they got a good bit of free agents, but they also have. I think they have what 57 mil in cap space.
They got tons load of cap
They got
space.
tons of cap space. Yeah, 57 million cap. I think that's the
Yep.
second. That's the second most they have. The second most in NFL in cap space. So now they actually have time to actually build that offensive line, build that defense. Will they decide to bring Chidobe Awuzie back? I wouldn't mind bringing him back. He was the fourth rated highest cornerback. Eli Apple, he's a free agent. Don't bring him back. He's up. I don't think they should bring him back. If you bring him back, you might just bring him back as a slot corner. You don't bring him back as a number one and number two. Bring him back as a slot corner. It don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It don't
Not
make
Eli,
sense.
not Eli Hannah.
You don't bring Eli Apple back
The
as a
rotten
starting
apple.
corner. Right, exactly. You know what I mean? Ryan Leaf. He was a left tackle. He's out. He's 33. Um, Larry Ogunjobi. He's a
Ogun
defensive tackle.
Jobe.
He's 27. Would you say to bring him back? I say you try to bring him back for a year or two. Ozuma, I think you should bring back Ozuma back because I don't know if there's a actually free agent tight end out there who could be better than Ozuma right now.
I think they may bring him back here.
Right, exactly. Josh Tupor, he's another defensive tackle. I don't think you should bring him back.
How old is
Vernon
he?
Hargraves, who's a cornerback. You might decide to bring him back on a 1 year deal. It
They make
depends.
on him?
No, they ain't cut him. He's a
I
free agent.
swear, I swear he's
No,
a,
he was on the bench. Well, he
Yeah, he
was
was on the
injured.
bench.
He
Yeah, he
was
was
injured
injured.
a lot there.
yeah, but he the one that get a penalty, right? And he jump up
Yeah,
there.
he got it
Right.
exactly. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
he was
injured for the
I
game.
swear I read
Yeah.
that because he couldn't.
Right.
More than other cut him after that nonsense.
Jesse Bates, he's also a free agent,
I
safety.
got I got saying he back. He got
Would you decide to bring him back? I mean, he's a playmaker
You
at the
have
safety
to. You
position.
have
Yeah.
to.
So you have to bring
He's
Jesse
a
Bates
all
back.
pro safety.
So
You have
you
to.
have exactly. So you have to give him that money. I don't know why they waiting so long. I would have done him pay here already.
I
So
think
you,
he. I think he played on a franchise tag.
the franchise tag, right? But when you play on a
Yeah.
franchise tag, when you have 57 million cap space, so what you telling me? You don't want to give him the money?
last year was a funny year.
I know last year was a funny year, but
Yeah,
still.
I think that was the issue. Yeah.
So, so I mean, as much as players they have on the free agency list, we could go down the line or whatever. A lot of them is backups and stuff like that. Trey Flowers also is another kind of back who's also a free agent.
How old? Triple old, right? Like he go man.
Yeah, he 28.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I mean? So,
yeah, veteran minimum, but he.
right. So, I mean, but the most important thing that the Bengals have to do is sign offensive linemen, build their offensive line. That's the main thing they have to do. Protect Joe Burrow. You have an elite quarterback, protect that elite quarterback. Because we've seen it in the Super Bowl, he could have easily had an ACL tear.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was easy. I think the offense, like I said, the offensive line ranked 20. The offense on a whole was 15. The pass offense was 15th. The defensive rank was 17th, which it wasn't too bad. That's the middle of the pack. And again, like I said before, the salary cap space, they got 57 million cap space. So they got a wall of money to sign. And right now, a lot of players should be able to say, okay, the Bengals right now are ready to go and win. I'm going to sign with the Bengals.
Yep.
So you as a defensive player should be able to say, fuck it. I ain't going with no other team right now. I'm going with the Bengals and see if I could make an impact see if you could try to get a Van Miller. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a defensive end. I see if you get some free agent out there right now on the offensive line who could make an impact on that line, on the interior and the exterior as well. At the same time. Because you actually know what Joe Burrow can do. You don't have to wait and see and wait to decide. You actually know what Joe can do, what Joe Burrow can do with
and he
a
and
below
he
average offensive line.
and he just blossoming.
Right? You
You
just pass him in exactly.
you seen a quarterback that gets sacked 9. I mean, 20 sacks in the postseason.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and he still perform that way to get to the Super Bowl. After getting more than how much quarterbacks have done see ghosts and hear them footsteps. You crazy?
Hmm.
That boy poised under pressure.
Right. So the coaching staff is still intact. The offensive skill position players are still intact with Jamar Chase and them guys, Joe Mixon. You don't really have to build much on the outside of that. Just build on the interior of that offensive line. Once you build that and you build a little bit on a maybe you get an outside corner, a few some decent pass rushers. You could build it between that, have a little package between that you could substitute and stuff like that. And have a backup for Joe Mixon as well. Prime was okay. But find somebody else. Like if you get Chase Edmonds, who can actually catch you to the backfield and do that, and who's good at pass protecting as well. You know what I mean? So if you could do some of that too at the same time, build that team a little bit. Because that team right now, the Bengals right now is right there. I don't see another team in the AFC not who could actually beat the Bengals. I don't see Baltimore beat them. I don't see the Bronx beat them right now. I don't see no other team in the AFC not that could actually beat the Bengals right now. Even with that offensive line. So, like I said before, whether you could either trade, see if you could trade for an offensive lineman, somebody who could actually be competent to actually block for Joe Burrow.
I don't even think they have to trade for anybody right now with the way how
They don't
people.
have. I wouldn't trade. Like you guys say,
Right,
you got Teron Armstead going on the market.
right.
I would sign Teron Armstead. I would tamper
After
with him
that,
and all. I would get fined for
exactly,
the tampering because he will
exactly,
hold on your left tackle for the next
exactly.
3 years, 3 4 years. You got Teron Armstead. You got some other big name persons that can be out
Build,
there. You build the line.
build the
You have
line.
to build that line.
You get some continuity on the app. Imagine if Joe Burrow has a little bit of continuity on the offensive line. The
Nah,
Bengals, the Bengals will be Super Bowl champions right now.
I just want to list off. I can list off the top 5 interior offensive linemen who on free agency market this year. Ryan Jensen, Brandon
Mhm.
Scherf, Laken Thomason, Connor Williams,
Right,
James Daniels. That's just 5, eh? Interior.
right,
I ain't even gone to
right.
the outside yet. That's just the interior.
Mm,
And with the amount of cap space, I gotta get one of them. Maybe two,
Exactly. You
maybe
gotta
two.
get two or
exactly.
three, two
Uh,
or three.
That's how crazy it is.
So they're in prime position. You have a quarterback who's on his rookie contract. You have a first round wide receiver who's also on his contract. I think Joe Mixon still on his rookie contract, right? I,
he
Mixon, I think
I
he
hear
just
say
signed an I think he signed an
just an
extension.
extension, right?
Yeah.
Right. But your high picks, your most high paid players, which is your number one wide receiver and your number one quarterback, still on rookie contracts. So right
uh,
now you got prime 4 or 5 years right now to actually sign, build a team, and try to make a run.
Yep.
you don't want to see
You prime,
the top offensive lineman who are
you
free agent.
prime,
It's ridiculous. Like should we just say Teron Armstead number 1,
He's
right?
Ryan
gone for you one time.
Prime.
Orlando Brown, Brandon Scherf, Laken Thomason, Dwayne Brown,
I
Connor
was
Williams.
going for Sheriff and State, and
Armstead, right?
that's your left
Right,
tackle and left guard right there.
right.
Right
Right there.
Solid, solid.
You ain't getting past Brandon Sheriff
Right,
and Teron Armstead. You ain't getting past. No chance.
solid, solid. And you just walk with that from there.
I wasn't. I don't. I wasn't
So they,
having it.
they so they're in prime position right now. They're in prime position right now.
They should be.
Prime position. I would imagine. I would love to have a Joe Burrow behind my offensive line right now. You know what I mean? You think if Joe Burrow had my offensive line right now, the Bengals will be Super Bowl champions. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Because all you need something, all you need is that 1 second, that the extra 2 seconds, the extra 3 seconds.
And you already see how okay, he know the pressure coming and he just still
Right.
get a ball out. He could
He
still get a
has
ball,
poise. He
still get a
has
ball deep
poise.
down. You know what I'm saying? So imagine if you could hit time.
He's on a rattle as a quarterback. When I saw him play against the Titans,
Mhm.
and he was getting hit after hit after hit, and was still getting up and still delivering that ball. I said that dude is the real being. He's a real man. He's a true. That's what you want to say out to your quarterback. He don't get rattled. He don't get rattled at all. He don't get shaken. Hit after hit after hit after hit. He to get up and he to go. That's what you want to your quarterback. You don't want to cover after your quarterback or to your quarterback who get hit then after he take behind the ass, he ain't running. You don't want that. You want your quarterback to keep getting up, taking them hits and keep going.
Yep. And he did it. The thing with Joe Burrow is from coming back from our ACL injury,
ACL.
you
Mm-hmm.
would think that the head office would say we got to protect our investment, but they still leave him go there and get
Mm-hmm.
licked down all over, and he still
Mm-hmm.
carried them to a
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the crazy thing about
In
it.
his second year.
In his second year, so that team, if they nail the off season this year,
They
which
have
I
to.
do, which I do think they'll do,
They have to.
you better watch out for that team.
They have to. Yeah. They have to.
You have to watch out for the team.
But then again, I think Zach Taylor, I guess he should get better on offensive coordinator as well. I don't know who he has right now as offensive coordinator. I think he needs somebody else who has the experience of coaching in big games to sometimes let him know what to do as well. Because in a Super Bowl, we saw that he wasn't running the ball enough. He ran the ball with P. Ryan a few times. He had P. Ryan going in for a third and one runner or whatever, and that was about it.
I
You know
think.
what I mean?
I mean,
Exactly. So,
what was
so
that? Your second year head coach now.
right here, second year head coach, the second or third year head coach. You know what I mean?
First time in
So,
first time in the playoffs.
right, it's for some time, but at that point in time, that's where you need veteran head coaches.
Yeah, and the experience. You know what I'm saying?
Can't even, for instance, me being an Eagles fan, look at Dougie P. Dougie P had veteran head coaches. Dougie P had a Jim Schwartz who been there before.
Hmm.
He had a Frank Wright who been a player in the playoffs and also a head coach. I mean, a offensive coordinator and stuff like that as well. You know what I mean? He had I forget the quarterback coach name is too. He had him as well. You know what I mean? So he had veteran coaches and that coaching staff in the Super Bowl. The only good thing that happened to the Rams is that they had a Matthew Stafford. Because if it wasn't for Matthew Stafford, if it was a gaff, the Rams was
No,
to win
no,
that Super
no.
Bowl. You know what I mean?
They had a damn Cooper Cup.
A Cooper Cup too. You had a Cooper Cup. But if you had a Cooper Cup and a gaff, there wasn't a Super Bowl.
Because there's no way one person getting the ball and you can't stop
Right.
him still. Only
But
one
gaff
person
wasn't going
getting
to make
that
that type
ball.
of throws. You know what I mean? That Stafford made later down in the game. So that's where McVay got lucky. But you also got to give credit to Raheem. What his name is Raheem Maris, who also made some defensive adjustments in
Yep.
stunting that defensive line because all in the game, all in the game, you said that you wasn't getting pressure. Stunt that defensive line.
I
And
don't
we
know.
were calling Shane.
I don't know why he takes so
Why
long.
why why you don't stunt that defensive line? Stunt it.
I just wish we had played the Bengals in the Super
And
Bowl.
after the halftime, he started stunting. After the halftime, he started stunting and doing different things.
Because to quote my partner Humpy, Burrow would have had to beg for the show. You hear me? Because
Right. So
we were sending everybody. nickelback, everything was going at him.
So we all know. So we all know that the Bengals need to build their offensive line, whether it's through the draft, free
Number one
agency,
priority. Number one priority. And if they
right?
draft anything else than
Right.
offensive line with the first pick,
Draft,
them suck.
build through that. Um, build a cornerback position as well. I don't see Eli Apple being a number one corner, a number two corner. So see if you
Eli,
can do that.
Eli,
Whether you bring back Chidobia Uzie, see if you can bring back for one more year. He's still a solid cornerback, whether number one or number two.
Eli tell Terry Hill he could guard him all night, all day.
Yeah, Eli can't got guard no Tyreek Hill one. We all know that. We all know that. He can't. He can't. He can't. He got lucky. He can't. So
All right.
like I said, Chidobia Uzie is a I think he's probably what 31, maybe 32. So you probably bring him back for one more year.
Yeah, that he's solid.
Right. Right. He's solid. He was the fourth graded highest cornerback in the NFL this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's still playing at an elite position. So see if you could actually either bring him back, maybe have him play number one or number two, and see if you could also get a solid cornerback too as well, who could either be your number one. Bring back that safety.
Yep. Have to.
You know what I mean?
Almost.
Build your defensive line a little. See if you could get some depth at the defensive line, where you could get Van Miller. He's a free agent right now. He's gonna be a free agent, I think. So see if you can get Van Miller or somebody out there, maybe. You know what I mean?
You need someone to go along with Trey Hendrickson.
Trey
They
Hendrickson.
drafted Henderson. Henderson had 40. I think he had about 12 sacks.
Right. So
Right.
exactly. So get that, build your exterior and your interior defensive line as well. You know what I mean? Because all you need right now is for what 2 or 3 years. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't need a whole lot. Just build what you can, and you have the cap space. You have everything you need to do.
Yeah.
The Bengals are in the perfect position right now. The perfect position. The perfect.
See,
position.
they exceeded expectations.
Right, exactly. Because they have the quarterback.
They exceeded expectations, and now reaching where they were it's like it actually just jumped them ahead of everything
Right.
that they had.
That team is another good build team. You just need pieces.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They fix the offense. Like you say, if they go there with a mindset like what we have, and you go, they get an Armstead and get the sheriff. I mean,
That's it. To the left. I run the
You
ball
know?
to the left straight.
right? I mean, he got what's the dude they draft Street who I get injured?
Who? Which
They
one?
got a big guy that they had draft I get injured
I forget his name.
from Alabama. I think he was. He from Alabama.
Jonah Williams. Jonah
Jonah
Williams.
Williams,
Well,
yeah.
he was a left tackle.
Who left tackle?
Yeah, he was a tackle.
Who he has to the right? You get Armstead and you get
Exactly. That's exactly what I would have done.
still move to the left, but you still got a protection to come on the backside. Still, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they have to adjust the offensive line. They don't adjust the offensive line, they will not make it to the Super Bowl again.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
The Jonah Williams offensive line rank grade was 77.6, 77.9.
Mm.
So
Shit, who's the teams next week?
that's a Pro Bowl.
All right. So we got
Oh, Tuesday.
Uh,
Yeah, Tuesday next
the
week.
Dallas Cowboys is the first one. Then
I'm taking them
actually you got the Cleveland Browns,
Hmm.
the Dallas Cowboys, and the Denver Broncos.
I taking them Cowboys. Out of
Which
my
one you are
division.
seeing? Cleveland or Denver?
Let me take Denver.
Denver? All right, I'll shoot with Cleveland on Tuesday's show.
Mm-hmm. Denver
I
tough. Yeah.
can deal with that.
I take Denver by.
Tell me which one you want.
I gotta keep it and take them and look at them and see what I got.
Okay.
I know what I need, but I can see what I
I don't think the Cowboys. I got 2 lashes for them Cowboys.
got.
All right, so we'll go with those then.
Again, if they're quiet off season, still waiting to see what I'm
The
pop up.
half season.
We got a lot of names going around, big names. We know a lot of
Next month will be big.
We know a lot of
Next month, I think from the middle of next month going into April, including the draft, we're gonna have the combine as well.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
combine.
big. It's next month going into April. It's gonna be big. I think after that May it's gonna be a little quiet. Then you have June. I think it's gonna be a little bit quiet. I think you're gonna have the rookies. I think the rookie mini camp and stuff like that, whatever. And then I think June, I think is gonna be quiet as well. I think later, I think we're gonna get excited again. Late in July, going into August, we can have OTs and stuff like that. Whatever.
Yep.
So, and that's when you're gonna
Yes,
get
sir.
prime.
Yeah.
And who knows? I might be dancing in June.
What this is?
I might be dancing in June if the Sixers do what they're supposed to do.
He come with these Sixers nuts.
I might be dancing in June. We might hear some 1098 76ers coming here. And we may hear the Chicago Bulls.
Well, you could bet that.
I don't know about the San Antonio Spurs, but
No. No.
ladies and gentlemen, we all are wrong. We talk a lot.
Yeah,
We
we got.
talk everything here. Everything.
Alright.
Everything.
See each other again on Tuesday. Pick up 3 more teams again.
Yep.
Keep your ear down to the rumor rim, to the rumor mill. See if anything pop off. It's getting closer to the time. So
We gotta see what's
Agreed.
going on. I mean, after next week, you're gonna see a lot of rumors because that's essentially temporary week also.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna be excited to see what transpires. And we'll see what happens when it comes.
Agreed.
alright then. So Tuesday. Check us back here.
All right.
Peace out.
Peace.
Alright.
Peace, love, and good night.
Yes, I.
Yeah.